We are live. We are live now.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, PC is still maybe. Hi, welcome to DevOps Malaysia Meetup. Hello. Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, welcome to DevOps Meetup. Actually, we should start at 7 Bus Corner. So hello.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, you're still a little early, so actually now is the time for networking chit chat and interesting comments to highlight so far.
Maybe they can tell us what they want to hear, stuff like what can ask
Yeah.
later on, questions.
And anyway, for those who joined and then for those who are here, maybe I'll just share the
Do you want to do a bit of tech support right now? I can share a setting first, which I forgot.
Yeah, sure.
So this is StreamYard. And go to the cam and mic. So if you have a network related issue, you can actually set the camera to low. I think it shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
always live.
Mine is on low. I kept it on low.
Yeah, so that should help a bit with the performance. Yep, that's about it. No passwords. Can you see that?
Oh, low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I think that will help a bit.
Disable audio processing. Should I disable audio processing?
I don't know. See whether it helps.
Okay, is it better? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm looking down.
First.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, you look smoother now at least. So yep. Hi folks. Fast is away. There's a lot. Even though it's online, there's still a lot of real life issue. Fast is away to collect food. So what are the things happening recently? Is there any DevOps related news? Okay, let me check. Oh, we have 6 person now. I'm not sure how many of them are. Yeah.
I'm looking for actually it's posted in the DevCami, is it? It's posted on DevCami or DevOps? DevCami.
Yeah, devs. I don't think it's shared to DevOps. I have to share it.
I put it to I actually it's broadcasting to Engineers My YouTube.
Yeah.
And I set it unlisted, then I copy pasted the URL on Facebook event. And,
okay.
I can't remember if
Just make it.
Let me see if let me paste the.
Yep. I've just changed the permission to public.
Yeah, maybe I think.
Chalwan is watching, so.
Excuses for we've been trying to this is still considered the first time we try to do something online with this platform.
Bus corner.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Not so lagging. My CPU is back to 97. Save changes.
Hey, hi Anthony. Yeah.
Hello. We just haven't started yet.
Yeah, we just started the live a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Because I
So
click it.
it should officially start at 7, but whoever is here, we will just troubleshoot and stuff. I pasted. Never mind. The admin for meetup.com, I can't update the online URL, so I'm just pasting the comments.
Okay.
It's delayed a bit, is it?
Fine for me.
Yeah, it's good. No worries.
Fine for me.
Is it possible, Leong or someone could share the Slack for Bus Corner? Because my Slack is on my Chrome.
Okay.
And I can't share.
I can share the screen.
With the sharing.
Yeah, I can share the screen. So let me share the screen. Change it, of course. Okay. Yeah, this is chat. I'm gonna. No secrets.
Oops.
Okay, there's no secrets. Don't worry.
I can type something.
So.
What is yourself?
Oh, I should. Can you share me the link to the Q&A as well, Sam? So I can just
I can
share the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, again.
I share it.
What did you share?
In the private chat.
Oh, okay. Let me remove it. Okay. No, let me get another screen. Yeah.
We hope no one actually gonna post on Bus Corner.
Oops, what? When the screen is synchronized. Yes, hello. Hello, Chris. We have a Slido. So that's set. So I'm gonna share it on the comment section as well for the Slido.
I have a. I don't know whether you can see this other one for projection. Oh, still again. Chidong, do you get the Slido link? This is like a projection-friendly view.
Oh. Wait. Where did you? Oh, okay.
Slack.
Too many chats. Okay.
Okay, 2 minutes to 7.
Oh, okay.
I'm sweating already.
We are waiting.
Yep. So anyway, for those who just joined in, hopefully you can join engineers.my Slack channel. Join the meetup for the conversations. Yep. Okay.
I'm gonna get it into the chat. Okay, question. by Shake Corner. Since we have time, so I'm gonna let Sam and Kevin answer it. So come on.
What's the question again? Sorry.
No, the one that I highlighted.
Oh, a Visual Studio.
Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code?
So
hi fast. You're right. You're right on time for this question.
I mean, I don't understand the question. An ID for DevOps.
Yeah.
For scripting.
It's a bug shake question.
It's a trick question.
I mean, it's an interesting question because technically, I mean, where I come from, because if anyone has attended any of the talks I gave last year, in August I gave a talk, DevOps is dead. And in that I mentioned about DevOps being a culture and, like kind of like a mindset. Sorry?
ID is dead.
ID is dead. Interesting enough, I've been working. Just today, I was working on doing mobile app development in the browser using Cloud9 browser-based ID. So technically, it's kind of like, okay, you don't need to install anything in your machine. So I don't know where the ID world is going. At least that angle.
For me, I'm just going to stick with the Visual Studio Code. So if you're talking about IDE, but and then end of the day, it's still going to be Vim. So,
okay.
What's your favorite, Shilong?
VS Code, because you can do remote development.
Yeah.
I do that.
I'm a old timer Emacs user. So now I still get the Emacs. I still get the Emacs setup, but nowadays on VS Code. So yeah.
True. So, I use the Vim binding. So yeah.
Sam, I think we can start now.
Yep. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to DevOps Malaysia MCO edition. Okay. This is my first time hosting this online. So it's very new. So anyway, I think we didn't prepare any slides. But anyway, moving ahead. Thanks to I think we don't need to do the usual thanks. But maybe what we can do next is we normally have a section where we have this thing where we ask you guys not to do bike shedding. So bike shedding is this thing where you don't argue which ID is better, like what we were doing just before. And anyway, after this, maybe just to run through a bit of the format moving ahead. We'll do Buzz Corner first, then after that we'll have what's that? Any job or project shoutouts. I think the job and project shoutouts will be a bit different this round. If you're commenting in from, preferably from on the YouTube live stream, maybe just want to proceed to highlight any job in the comments. Otherwise, maybe just post in the jobs channel in the engineers.my Slack. Okay. So if there's no further questions, let's just move forward with Buzz Corner. Yeah. Okay. Vercel. Okay, I have no idea what this is. Any guys, if you guys want to chip in, have you seen what's Vercel?
Zite is
serverless.
Oh.
Yeah. Heroku-like service for React or something, JavaScript, right?
For JavaScript, for backend JavaScript. Basically, like the abstract Lambda and whatever else now they're integrating with. And it's actually both, right? Or is that Next.js? Did I just mix up both? Damn it. Okay.
It's mainly for Jamstack sites, right?
Let's confirm again. The good thing of doing Buzz Corner is you can still query it on Google doing this. So you're talking about our origins. We started with overwhelming edge networks. Right, they started with now. That's what for simplifying deployments. Okay, yep. And then they're the guys who brought out Next.js. Yeah, okay. So this was like for React and all. Yeah, initially, that was another one. Like Heroku.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, if Jasmine is on, if he has any comments, you can comment. If not, we can. If not, we can go next.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did they mention why they changed the name?
Really?
They just mentioned it's a new identity that aligns with their focus.
Do you want some flame baity comments?
Flame baity on?
Because JavaScript libraries like to change their names.
Okay. I mean, why not? It's this DevOps, so you can definitely have flame baity stuff. I mean, names change always, as long as and even the functionality sometimes changes, right? So, yeah. Cool. What's the next one then? Oh, services. Submarine cable.
Yeah.
So, I think it been affecting AWS access, right, for a lot of people.
I saw the discussions also on the Engineers My group. So quite a lot of folks were saying that there was a problem, and we did get customers also coming and saying. So as any normal provider, what we can only do is that we can talk to the infrastructure provider nearby or the telcos and then see what exactly is the problem. This is where this came out then afterwards, that actually there was a submarine cable cut along the way down somewhere near Vietnam, I guess, or before that, or maybe that whole set of cables.
So that's the APCN2. So this last weekend's one was this AAG, Asia American Gateway near Hong Kong.
Right.
Yeah,
and
so
there was a
different one.
Yeah, and there was an article, I think just yesterday or the day before, where they said that there may be some downtime required to fix this for even a couple of days, I heard. That's what I heard. 5 days, yeah. 5 days.
Yeah.
So
but this one is they say it's a planned maintenance. Oh. The previous one was a cable cut.
Right, the planned maintenance
to fix the cable, right?
Cable cut, yeah. So it's a planned maintenance
just to fix the cable.
Event.
Yeah,
to fix the cable.
The ABCN always gets. I've checked the history for the past 10 years. The ABCN always gets cut. So either it's near a shipping route or something. So this is a different one.
Also, like from what I heard, it's
waiting by a shark.
Shark bites, because it's shark actually hunts by the what call it, the
shark fin
electron or something like that. So, apparently, all these electrical things resembles the Prey. So yeah, check it out yourself. Go and fact check yourself.
Yep.
So let's go to the next one.
Okay. Yeah. So I think this one is on the TM, and some of the other program providers are providing only allowed in green zones. Yeah, so I think here and Maxis, and I think other than that, Maxis and Unify is having this promo where if you don't have fiber, they'll send to you the wireless gateways, the 4G gateways for the meantime.
Yeah. That's actually useful. My place doesn't have a cable.
Okay.
But do you use your phone as a?
You're going to provide Unify.
Yeah.
You're going to provide Unify F for free as well, right?
Yeah. If you sign up, and yeah, if it was supposed to, the fiber is supposed to be set up, and you can't, then they're supposed to give you the Unify Air for free. And once MCO is over, you return the Unify Air, and they will come and install your fiber. At least that's what the press release says.
Yeah. I have the Unify Air SIM. I use it in a phone because I didn't want to pay extra for the router. And that SIM doesn't work in anything else. It works only in that router. So, or on a phone. And the place where I am, it's kind of like a dead zone. Even Unify coverage officially is not here. So I'm kind of barely getting a signal. So yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
What else? Rocket got archived. Oh, I posted that. Interesting.
So you share that. So elaborate.
Oh, like that, is that? So I know that Rocket is a container engine. The reason I put that in was less for telling people who use it to know that it's gone, because a lot of people I think haven't used it, but it was kind of popular among folks who were already heavy into Kubernetes before. This was a project that started like 18 months ago and it got archived immediately. I'm not sure if the team has moved on or they got acquired.
I remember it's longer than that because Rocket is an initiative started by CoreOS, right?
CoreOS, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's an
sunsetted.
Yeah, it's an alternative to the Docker engine.
Yeah,
supposedly. So
which now everyone's talking about Containerd. So
yeah.
Although the logo is cool, so I have a sticker. So which means now it's vintage. Beyond that, they just archived it directly without any move to go ahead on. For folks, they're just telling everyone just move off to some other engine. It's all the same.
So Sam actually shared a Facebook post.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's from my colleague. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just sharing the workspaces is free, right? Workspaces.
It's until June 30 only, right?
Yep, June 30th.
2 more months to go. Just don't forget to switch it off after June 30th.
Let me share the link.
So that was for Chime Pro, right? Or is it even for workspaces?
Workspaces as well.
Workspace, WorkDocs, and Chime Pro. But WorkDocs is kind of like Gmail, right? G Suite,
G Suite, yeah.
Google Docs.
Yeah.
Google Docs.
Something like Google Docs. But
so workspaces is an interesting use case because we use it heavily over here in Amazon. I use it a lot because I tend to avoid using the VPN because it hogs a lot of my bandwidth. So what I do is on my personal laptop, I'm using workspaces. I can spin up a machine 8 gigs, 16 gigs. And it's useful, especially during MCO and kind of this remote work because I just want to get my work done. I can also use workspaces on an iPad. Or if you have a tablet or an Android tablet or something, and even on Linux. So I'm hoping to get my hands on my Raspberry Pi once I find it somewhere over here. I can put it on a 4 gigs RAM Raspberry Pi and run it as a client over there. We've had a case, I think one of our architects in Bangalore, she just joined recently. She put on Twitter, so it's public basically. What she said is that she joined and then the lockdown started in India, so she couldn't get her laptop, or her laptop spoiled before that. And then she started using her friend's laptop because she could use workspaces until her other laptop, which she ordered online, was naked, and then delivery stopped, so she continued using that. So the fact that work still went on, irrespective of whether you have your laptop or an official laptop or somebody else's, this one doesn't matter anymore. So it kind of changes in the current scenario. The fact that you just want to get work done, you have a remote desktop sitting somewhere. So this is that.
Kamal, I have a comment on that. It says workspaces are.
Okay, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna spice it up.
You are right, man.
Especially AD, is it?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
I actually tried out once and then ended up paying a huge bill.
Okay.
I think it's like $50 USD or something per workspace, the cheapest one.
Reach out to
really
your account manager.
Unless
all I can say is reach out to your account manager, and then we can come on.
it's my personal use. I don't have an account manager.
If you that's with you, that's different. That we can talk about. But I'm saying if you're using it officially, if it's through a company or something.
Personal one, right? I tried spinning on the personal. AWS creates some pseudo AD for you, right?
You need for workspaces, you can use simple AD. There's an option, or you need to integrate with a SAML provider.
Come on, have another question. Yes,
come on, please. Yeah, do ask more.
Workspaces is different. I have to Google what is that.
What?
What?
Amazon desktop.
What's Amazon desktop? Which service is that?
I didn't ever heard.
No, I haven't.
Today we learned.
Today I also learned. That's a new one.
Okay.
Workspaces is what you have. So Workspaces is what you have as a client over here, and then you can just remotely log in through that client or through the browser. So we have two options for end user compute. That's Workspaces and AppStream. I won't make this too much into an Amazon DevOps talk. So if there's anything else, you can just reach out. You have engineers.my stack. You can just reach out over there, and then you can see. But on the pricing and all, just reach out to your account manager. That's all I can say.
Oh, Zoom. They just hired someone from Facebook, right? Former chief security from Facebook. After they had the issue with the security. So is this the plan they came out after the issues?
They have to take proactive actions.
You might want to zoom in a bit. Okay. Nice. So
these are the stuff.
Actually, there's an article as well. Someone shared.
So these are the milestones. So it seems like
which is interesting, right? At least that publicly they're showing this is what we're working on. Okay, fine. This is what happened. We didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done or whatever, and at least now we're.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case, right? So that only shows your security. You love a bug bounty. Go and try to hack Zoom and claim your bug bounty. Wow, you still can.
Okay, so we're gonna have another one. Shared by Wendy.
Controversial.
Interesting. You want to say
I would have said a lot. So
what should I share?
Actually, I don't know much about this one. It's like controversial.
Really? Okay. Splunk is like a log parser, something like that, right? Like something like a Kibana.
Yeah.
Where you can do analysis.
It's like the Elk stack.
Okay.
ELK, right? Something like ELK.
Anything you want to add?
So even though Splunk does that, now they're getting into remote work insights. I'm not sure how they do it. Is it by running an agent in your laptop or somewhere else? But the idea is that they can now start using capture certain metrics from the kind of work you're doing on your laptop.
Yeah.
And then use all
this business analytics, right?
Yep.
Which show you how productive you are.
Wow.
There are tools in the market already for this from quite some time, but they're usually shady spywares of sorts. You could take screenshots of machines and then keep sending it back. A company like Splunk now officially releasing it as a product, and I'm guessing that they have some some customer market segment which they're reaching out to. Yeah, so it's interesting. As a manager, as a maybe as someone who's running a team, this could be useful. For a person who's actually getting monitored.
Good luck.
I think the point is just to have an insight of of the trend of what changes. If people just want to do it for the sake of like being perceived, being productive, we can always game it anyway, right? Just create a lot of Zoom meetings and useless VPN logins, so we can always work around it if you want to. But if it's just that insight to see like what are the changes, then yeah.
I think it's controversial because security, right? Yeah, I think the key is actually a lot of enterprises, they already record all this. So I think when they release this is literally a special. It's like a special.
That's one way to really cost cutting measure.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Probably applies. Yeah, probably for those enterprises like small companies probably wouldn't even buy Splunk. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just an application to make it easy to see. Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to elaborate? I don't know what is the impact of NPM joining GitHub? I mean, they already had their own repository. So what's the dynamic? How's the dynamic?
So NPM
can I improve NPM?
I mean, what happened was, I think last 1 year there was a lot of drama happening in the governing board for NPM. NPM started looking like, okay, they started charging for certain things which they never used to charge for, and they didn't have a direct direction to go with. So for them to get adopted somewhere else or just join another org, like even GitHub, makes more sense because they're in a better state than what they were before.
I think it gives them better funding as well because NPM is a for-profit instead of a foundation.
Oh, right. So because of the private NPM repositories, right? The stuff. Yes. And I mean, when this happened, a lot of folks started saying, okay, does this mean that Microsoft now has a handle of all the NPM packages? Well, it kind of depends on how you see it because GitHub joined Microsoft already, and there's a lot of stuff that's been happening with GitHub. They've been giving a lot of features out. Teams just got recently given for free. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, yay for developers, I guess. At least NPM doesn't have to just meander around. They have a purpose now.
Yeah. Okay, we need to increase the screen and the font size.
Oops.
We listen to our customers.
Customer obsession.
Oops.
But actually, I feel like GitHub is heading in the right direction, although there's a lot of complaints in open source. But that's something only time will tell, I guess.
So how far end of bus coding want to go to? Like
I think we can do. I think we can extend it because I think it'd be hard. I think we can shorten the job and project shoutouts. I think we can extend it for until half an hour. Should be fine, unless anybody wants to comment. You'll listen to the customer, but I think we can just extend.
Let's talk about the GitHub. Let's talk about the GitHub. It's free for the teams instead. Like we can pick the one we want, right? Oops.
Really, like it looks like Plus has extra pairs of ears.
You're trying to be
no, don't move. Yeah, back to this.
It's like those Razer headphones, right? I've seen those, the one with the cat ears.
Okay.
Thanks.
This should actually give us more topic to talk about. Why people are afraid of Microsoft. I think because of the history, something. I think people are actually worried of because of some people are more supportive. Some are actually worried because of it's
monopolization.
Yeah. because bottom line is still there. So
it actually depends on the direction of a company. So last time, like other companies used to like community support everything, but the direction of Microsoft now is more towards developer friendly and open sourcing. Like even the Microsoft Windows now, it's more like a Linux opening source and everything.
right.
So it's always depend on the company direction, but unless the company direction change next month, so this won't be happening either. So you don't take it as a granted. Just you push for it what you want.
Yeah, this is one of the freebies.
Yeah.
Yep.
With
So-
Microsoft, it's interesting because ever since Satya came on board, he has been taking the company towards a very developer-focused approach, right? I mean, there was even Steve Ballmer who wanted to do it for developers. If anyone's seen the video, developers. But this one is more like, let's give everything to developers with tooling, enable them, which is kind of cool. Also, the fact that they brought, I mean, one of the biggest things for me, okay, VS Code is just there, but bringing Linux, the subsystem, into Windows and keeping it as part of the Windows package was amazing for me, right? The whole idea of me just using Ubuntu and directly having access to the file system was pretty awesome. So that kind of showed, for me at least, that Microsoft is going into a different direction altogether. Do they have to make money? Yes, they still have to. So whether they do it on these things or on something else, they have to just.
Okay, someone commented this. Team is like Slack but made by amateurs. Okay, to answer this, right, the Slack new design is more like a Teams. So I don't know how to take the comment.
Okay, these are like the flame walls.
Slack.
Yeah.
Slack by amateurs. I like Slack. Slack is good. By the way, on
Wait,
the
actually,
echo thing, I can't hear any echo at my end.
Probably we should actually test it
I can
out.
hear all right. If anyone is hearing it,
Yeah.
Probably it's the processing.
I can hear
of,
everyone all right.
StreamYard.
Devin, I don't.
Yeah, I think it's probably the StreamYard.
I'm using an AirPods.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Is anyone else hearing echoes? If you could just put a +1.
There is some echo, but we're gonna we're gonna improve that afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. That's Electron, I think. It's because of Electron, right? It's less to do with the Slack app itself.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of popcorn.
So that's why I use Slack in Chrome. I use Slack in Chrome.
Yeah.
Chrome is also, heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is more
what is this? We're just highlights comments now.
Basically, the audience is driving the discussion. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe Kidam, let's go to the next item. Maybe not the TM one. I think we can go past the TM one.
You're on fire.
Oh, this is a new. It's a new one.
Yeah.
Your
Go
book.
download it while it lasts. Go download it while it lasts. It's free.
You last actually. Yeah.
Sure.
What?
There's actually a couple of books, right?
They always let you download the book for free for the SI books.
Okay.
Yeah. So
there's another one.
I think that's about it.
I don't know much about this.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
No, just one more.
That's
April
about
1st. April 1st.
Okay.
Yep.
There.
Yep. This is the GitLab features. The GitLab features.
So how does it affect?
So whoever using the community edition and anything, or have a lot of limitation, right? Now they should be excited. They still don't have to pay. If you look at the free users like us, like me, so this is gonna help you a lot, like the branching strategies, CI/CD, and like the code quality. Everything they are integrating, coming with the
let me go back.
canary deployment and everything together with it.
But this is the GitLab cloud edition and community plan in the cloud. This one, not self-hosted.
Open source one.
They're gonna roadmap wise. I think it's roadmap wise.
Yeah.
They're moving there slowly.
So which means whoever has it has to upgrade them. They'll have to.
Yes, correct. They just need to upgrade the version. That should be okay.
So I think that's about it for Pascona. Supposedly. Or we want to.
Yeah, we need. I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yep. So, does anybody have any? So anyway, maybe in the meantime, if anybody has any questions for the panels later, you can scan and give your input.
Yeah, or just comment at the
So-
comment section.
Yeah.
Yeah, both work.
Okay. Back to so now. So now we have project and job shout outs.
Yeah.
I think we can just leave it on this slide. So we now have project and job shout outs. Do we have any jobs to highlight?
Any
I will
job
just share
shout-outs?
it. So
there was someone who said that they're looking for a job. So, yep.
I wouldn't mind. Dean is looking for a job. Like this.
Yeah.
So just come over to the channel and check for jobs. Like if you want
Or
to.
you can post jobs. If you're hiring, you can post job as well. So
Yeah.
okay,
Special thoughts.
that's about it, right?
And then, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Anybody comment anything in the comment section about
No.
jobs?
Yeah, Ang is talking about lag. So he's saying one person at a time talk versus simultaneous.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Understood, boss.
Yes. Thank you for.
So yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
we are doing what do you call it, the testing, because
Yeah,
I don't think we had people
I
commenting.
think in MCO mode, it's like you have to wait for the other person to talk first. That's the MCO mode. We're still in the meetup mode. That's the problem.
Yeah. Can you please ask? I mean, put your questions there so later we can ask the people, the specialists, the professionals.
I had on the this job posting that had just come in Slack from the uni student or fresher. So I've been talking to folks across different unis, and a lot of them have been approaching, asking about advice and just about understanding, okay, what do they do, right? Okay, a lot of folks are talking about from a job perspective, but there are even folks who are studying still and who are supposed to graduate sometime soon. And they have been looking at what, where to go, what are they supposed to be doing, what should they be preparing on. And I haven't seen companies going and interacting with either the colleges or the students directly in trying to show what direction they can go. So to whoever is over here, if they're looking at or if they know folks they can reach out to do that. I'm doing it at least at my personal capacity, at least to reach out and then talk to folks and understand where they're at and where they can go. Or if you have some experience guidance, you can just at least mention that. I think that's useful.
Okay. So anyone else hiring? So are they posting any in the comments as well?
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay. Is everyone in the MCO mode?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's go to the questions. Like yeah, let's do the answer. Let's answer the questions.
Yep. So
Yep.
everyone gonna be involved, right? So how does this gonna work? Like, I ask questions or we're just
gonna answer. Yeah,
anyone?
one at a time. Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Silong, you wanna go first?
Focus is
How to
it's not a
focus
problem.
on work and get
Focus
work
is not a problem. I think during MCO, it's the like making sure that people respect that you're actually working and stuff. No, I don't find. Okay, hi Nagi.
Hey, Nagi. Fancy seeing you here. It's been a long time.
Okay, we're gonna highlight all the people that say hello. Hi, see you.
It's like suddenly everyone's coming. Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I feel shy now.
Yeah. I don't think there's a problem working during focus during MCO. In fact, there's less distraction during MCO. It's just the problem is to find a balance, because now it's like okay. That's a new question.
There's an outage. Okay.
This question we only allow us to answer it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I have to check first myself. Wow, thanks for the spotlight.
I don't think that's an issue of getting focused. How about you guys?
First, you want to go next?
Yeah, so with focus, it's a couple of things for me. One thing is, Chiram kind of mentioned about having a balance. What's happened is, at least with the way my work's been happening, it's like I get into the morning, I have a separate room I've managed to secure from the family. I get in, by the time I go out, it's already evening, right? It's just that, time flies without you even knowing how it is, because you just keep getting calls on and on. You just keep getting this one. So like Kevin's mentioning, if anyone's already used to that work from home kind of a cycle, you already have a routine of sorts. I'm guessing for a lot of folks, especially people like me who prefer going to the office to work versus working from home, it's been a challenge initially to get used to this, to even churn out work, right? But now I've got into this routine of, okay, I have to get up, do something and get some work done. But what happens eventually is that I was thinking, okay, if I work from home, I do get some time with the family. But frankly, now it's like I'm seeing my family lesser than when it was before.
Yeah, that's the same problem.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
Office is like a boundary, like at least.
Exactly. Yeah, you come out, you switch off. Yeah. So I've seen people have routines from before where they say, okay, if the moment they step out of the room or step away from the PC, then they automatically switch off this one, or they'll have some kind of a ending routine or something. I don't have that yet, so that's a problem. At least from my end, work happens. I guess everyone over here in MCO is working because they have to, in some form or the other. So I think it's just about the work happening, and it's more about just knowing when to stop. Focus has never been harder with the bed. So I'm working in a room that doesn't have a bed. Just letting you know.
I'm working in my bedroom, so if you can see, but I have to go up the stairs. So
true.
It's not no.
So there is some there's an obstacle.
So I don't loiter around my bed. No, I loiter around, but I don't loiter on my bed.
One thing so Kevin just mentioned about the noise in the house. One thing that helps me is I have noise cancelling headphones. So good time to buy one if you really want. So,
all the shops are closed, man. Sorry.
Anyone got shocked by images you're not supposed to see it? Like? What kind of images?
Zoom.
Oh.
Zoom.
Zoom.
Really?
No, that hasn't happened.
Well, I don't know what's the case about Zoom.
The Singapore one, basically there's having a class using the online class, and then there's a couple of people from Eastern Europe or something. They just came.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
Just randomly.
Yeah, I think one of the thing about the difference between working at home, like sometimes we hack and stuff, but the difference between MCO is we have staff within our own unit. So normally, if we're gonna go out, normally we actually go out. Not necessarily just stay at home totally. So
I know some of my colleagues, some of my colleagues actually, or my sisters, they all send the kids to the babysitter still, like nearby babysitter, so that they can so just that they can focus on the work and do the work.
Yeah.
And
so
I think
I think the only one with kids is Fast, right? Sam, do you have kids?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it a distraction for you?
Definitely, because I'm also like when one of the classes are being held, I'm there in the morning. So it kind of my day starts with classes for the kids, and then after that only I jump into work. After that, they're just running around somewhere, and I have my noise cancelling headphones, so I don't even know what's happening outside right now. It's kind of like that.
Do you have to do a curious question? Do you have to do tech support for the kids, like in case they are like if they're doing online learning? Do you have to do tech support? Make sure the Wi-Fi is okay, network is fine, the webcam is working right.
Sound is not coming properly. Wi-Fi is not that great. A lot of the classes though have shifted to WhatsApp calls because apparently WhatsApp just works. So no fancy software, nothing. Just do a WhatsApp video and it just works.
Also more shocking statement for Fast.
Is it? I'm seeing the status page. Everything
That's
seems
true.
to be
That's
green.
true. For last 4 days, I was getting a lot of notification from AWS.
Okay, I mean, if you're getting notifications internally, then definitely there may be something that's happening. Oh, okay. Elastic Compute Cloud, North Virginia, resolved.
There's a lot
Apparently.
So,
they region by
I'll
region,
just say-
they're coming. It's coming.
let's go to Tevin.
Oh yeah. So how to focus on work? Get focus is okay, but my problem is too many meetings. So I need to wake up early. It's for the early meetings, and it goes on. So I was wondering how to actually get the work done because of too many meetings. That's the only problem with the MCO. Things thanks to the MCO, now they start to organize more meetings to get like problem solve or having a discussion and everything. So other than that, it seems okay. It's more productive. We don't have I don't get as much as ad hoc requests as now. So
that's the one that
actually,
I really like.
and the workload is now actually double as well. So yes, what Nagi says is actually true.
Yeah.
It's way busier, and you work like 9 to 6 like exactly, and like sometimes you have to work until 8 as well sometimes. And yeah.
So Sam, we take turns.
Yes, good idea. Myself, how to focus on what we get done. For myself, good thing about MCO is no need to drive to work. So my routine is I don't really wake up as early, travel, and what's useful for me at work, I mean, what helps to keep focus is we have a morning, like for work, we have a morning and evening sync up at work. Because I work in the operations team, and we will try and have that morning sync up every day. But of course, sometimes they are the managers, or if too many people are having meetings, then we don't sync up for that day. But having that as a routine to outline like 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock, it helps. And how to focus. I think having a dedicated workspace. So I'm also doing it in my bedroom. And like my wife, I think we have she works at the other end of the house. Okay, so so because we already like clearly defined, and I think that helps a lot. But I think this doesn't apply if you have kids. If you have kids, it's very complicated. I've also attended many meetings where sometimes in the meeting you can hear the kids of the people attending meeting. You can hear the kids in the background. So I can imagine for those who have kids, it may be a bit more complicated. Yeah. So like those of us don't have kids, I think it's a lot more straightforward. Yeah, but I think most important focus is have a dedicated space, and if you have a housemate or someone else, you just, if it's possible to lay down the rules, you can lay down the rules, then it will help to focus. As for bed, yes, it's very tempting. I do take a downtime occasionally, but I think having this dedicated corner from the first day of MCO helps, because I know if I lie down for a while, then I just have to come back after a while. So I mean, one thing I think the focus is even better because I don't feel like I'm going to drift off and sleep on the bed, even though visually I can see the bed right from where I'm sitting, but I don't feel like sleeping as much. And for myself, what else I've done is I've also, like, I think fast was it fast? Yeah, I think was saying about headphones. So what helped me also was I had these Bluetooth headphones. So sometimes if I attend meetings, and good thing about MCO is if you have Bluetooth, then you can wander off to other parts of if you are in meetings which doesn't require you to participate, you can be on mute and you can do other things. So I think that helps to focus but not focus, if you guys know what I mean. Yeah.
That's where Splunk Insights will come to help.
Yeah. Yeah. Along with eye tracking.
Eye tracking. Makes sense.
Yep. This is for Devon.
For Sam as well. So
Yeah.
Sync up.
Yes. So for my workplace, we sync up every day. Yes. Every morning and evening. But it's not like a hard and fast, like, oh, you must update me everything. The idea is like the manager will just say anything to highlight. It's kind of like a daily stand up, but it's more casual. It's more of a, is there anything the team needs to know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because
I think basically it's basically like something to update or any priority that need to be urgently done, that needs attention or need to be escalated, or need more help on to actually resolve some certain issues, urgent issues that management is looking for it or something. So that's usually that's what goes on, right, Sam? Is it the same for you?
Yes. Yeah. So like for my team, we are still figuring out the agile. I work on the security team, and security team in most places is still very traditional, pre-agile DevOps kind of thing. So, but having this as a daily sync up, it does help. It's the closest thing to a stand up, but it's not that. Yeah. So, but at least like I said, it gives some structure and some room for the team to highlight. Yeah. So I could see people adopting this, but it really depends on if people are adopting like a daily sync up. If they're thinking like a top down, like, oh, I'm the boss, you need to tell me every detail, then I don't think this thing works lah. So we have this it's a half an hour session at the start and the end of the day.
I don't have an end of day. End of day is just mine is until lunch only. I have a couple of teams that I'm involved with, so I need to join most of the stuff. I can skip the one I don't want, so depending on the priority.
Do you have to pay attention to all of them?
This is live, so I can't answer that.
Okay, we're gonna do it afterwards.
So I mean, similar to the way Sam is saying, we do, and at least with our team, what we do is that we just have an unofficial casual catch up at around 5 in the evening. So it's
I don't have an
useful.
evening, so
yeah. So for us, we do it in the evening. It's like anyone who can come. If not, it's fine. And when we come in, we just talk simple stuff. We don't talk much about work, and it's been good because at least you get a chance to talk to your colleagues, and it's therapeutic in a way. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Come on, I mean, definitely, why not? Yeah. So that's on the focus part, I guess.
Yeah. Moving on, should we go to the next questions? And what time are we supposed to end again?
Actually, if 9 o'clock, but I don't think we will have that much content till 9, so we can end once we run out of questions. And whoever wants to extend, please ask questions, useful questions, semi-controversial questions.
I will ask a couple of questions after this. So
sure.
But we can go through this first, like quick one, and then I don't think there's much to talk about.
Who actually put up this question? Do you DevOps everything at home?
I'm the one who wrote it.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
No, I'm just wondering, like, if you have to do tech support at home, whether have you had a DevOps flow for your own stuff? Yeah.
Good question.
Since you put it up the question, right? You should answer that.
Yeah. For me, I'm in the process. I'm trying to do something on that, but I haven't done it. I mean, I haven't managed to automate it. Yeah, but I did have a plan some time ago, but yeah, I haven't. I mean, I'm just fixing up I mean, I have like my tasks at home, like my router or my PC stuff to fix and everything. So it's like I do have a Kanban board, but I haven't created like a pipeline for my house stuff. I mean, my router is on OpenWRT, so I did think of eventually maybe just to try out pipelining the OpenWRT builds just for learning, and maybe I am considering like looking like router issues or whatever. Like have something like a self-hosted GitLab at home or something just to try out some part-time stuff. I mean, so that's just stuff I've been thinking of planning, but yeah,
Okay.
it's just
Interesting.
because it's house stuff. I don't think that it's I only do it when I have time.
First, do you have anything? Do you do DevOps anything at home? Maybe DevOps your kids.
DevOps my kids. I mean, I can't build
Containerize
dependency.
them. Containerize
Containerize
them.
my kids. I can spin up another kid.
Containerize them there, so they won't
So-
be a distraction.
Okay, so if you take some of the principles of running an infrastructure and then having redundancy and all, what I've done is a couple of things. Like from a food perspective, instead of hoarding the same kind of food, what I've done is I'm having choices of food on snacks of sorts. So it's like the kids don't get bored, but at the same time, it's like you just give them when they need so that they don't get sugar rush always. Another thing which I've done is that since I don't have a broadband connection, no fiber, nothing, I have multiple SIM cards running across various hotspots and phones. So I keep switching and jumping networks literally whenever, either, and because they're all prepaid. So I suddenly either the balance goes off or there's no signal or something, and I'll always keep jumping around. So at least my meetings or whatever I do still continues to run in that way. I've done that. Then beyond that, I'm not as planned and explicit like what Sam has done, but I have enough equipment, I think, to survive for a couple of months now. In terms of having a laptop and then having an older laptop just in case, and then having like a monitor and then having a standby just in case. So everything has a standby now, except for the kids. So that's what I've done, at least at my end. In terms of actually DevOps per se, I don't do any kind of infrastructure management anymore. So that's gone away from my end. Instead, what I'm doing is more of talking to customers and then seeing, okay, how are they managing their DevOps pipelines, if any, and how are they automating things right now? And this question keeps coming up because a lot of them are still doing manual deployments versus just automating and scripting and automating it through a CI server sitting in the cloud somewhere. So that's in the work side. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the unfortunate ones not to have a broadband connection. Apparently, PM says that I can't have one. So yeah. Yep, literally on the edge. Yep.
Which provider are you on now?
I am. So Celcom has been pretty generous with me. I have a couple of providers who are on top of Celcom. So I have XOX, I have Udo, and then I have Unify's Air, which is from Celcom.
Michael's telling the truth.
It was a pain when the network connectivity to AWS was slow. Yeah, I mean, agreed. That's why I don't use VPN anymore. I use Workspaces directly. No more VPN. Yay. Although if you connect to another
that's the perks of working with AWS, right?
I mean, the thing is, you would use a VPN and then connect to another country and then connect to the browser. But apparently, it wasn't for every connection, right? If you remove any Unify connection, then people on Maxis were all right. People on what's the other connections like on DG or any hotspot were all right. Time was also all right, apparently. So yeah, I mean, see. So what I did now is I've moved most of my workflow into my personal laptop. It's definitely more easier with Workspaces. I keep everything inside that, so I don't have to use VPN, because a VPN, any VPN uses a hog on mobile broadband. So I just use that Workspaces, and then I use whatever personal stuff around it. I mean, it just works. I think I've told enough Workspaces and name dropped it a couple of times. So I'm hoping there's a spike in usage in Malaysia after this call.
It's too expensive.
Talk to your account manager.
I don't have. Sheila, how about you?
I don't do DevOps at home. nothing much can be done.
So
I got
containerization.
nothing on DevOps for home. I have time for that.
Just making sure the network works for everyone. That's about
Yeah.
it.
So, sis, any other question you guys? First, the third question is for you, for Michael.
Oh,
Anybody
cloud
affected?
update.
okay. So,
Yeah.
so I just went to this. I just went to the status page, which is public, which means basically I can just tell this to whoever is there over here.
Yep.
And apparently, the most recent event was 2:45 a.m. Pacific time. I'm guessing PDT is Pacific time. And there was an increased API error rate and latencies in the US Eastern region. And half an hour later, there was a message saying the issue has been resolved and the service is operating normally. So this was on EC2 in North Virginia. And basically,
it's resolved,
Eastern.
right?
Yep. Apparently, according to this, they're saying it's resolved. So
And
I
yesterday, I
stand
think
by.
I think yesterday as well, Kamal said Tokyo region was having issue.
I just saw that, and those have also been fixed according to the status page.
Yeah, it's already fixed yesterday. So
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Before we go to that question, right? I have one question. What's the difference, like DevOps and Agile? What's the difference?
It's like comparing a square and a circle. They're both practices, but they mean different things.
Yeah. What the practices like versus which one? I asked you because someone asked me, so that's why I'm asking you.
So with Agile, usually, the concept of Agile comes from the fact that you are able to deliver things faster, right? Iteratively in some form or the other. At least that's the meaning which I go with after all the scrums and all the Kanbans and everything else we have done throughout my career. With DevOps, what usually you do is that you're having best practices that allow development teams and operations teams or a person having both responsibilities to work together and automate your infrastructure so that you can facilitate faster releases, which kind of contribute to iterative deployments of products and services. The whole idea with Agile and DevOps in the end is that you should be able to close the loop as much as possible so that you can have faster feedback, and then you can maybe fix whatever you're working on or make it better so that it can continue adding value. So they are not the same, nor are they like totally different. They're just I don't know. Is the word orthogonal the right thing for this? I'm guessing that's what it is.
I don't know.
Maybe,
how about you, Shilong?
I concur with us. It's a different. I think
it's an easy way out.
Agile is in general project management practices. DevOps is like actually, DevOps is more like specific to
to infrastructure and actual deployment. Because if you go back to the manifesto, you see the Agile manifesto in 99 or whenever they all wrote it. And then afterwards, when Patrick DeBoer, when he hosted his first DevOps thing, and he didn't write a manifesto per se, but he had certain things, you kind of see that they're talking about something similar, but they're talking from different perspectives. One was talking from software development perspective, the other one was talking from operations perspective. So, but then there is a lot of consultancies who jumped in and said you should be DevOps and Agile at the same time. You had certain splinter groups that came and said DevOps and Agile can never go together.
So how does it work, like DevOps and Agile together? Like,
I think for me the philosophy is different. Agile is more towards project management on how to manage features and requests and like deliveries, but DevOps is like how we declare, like, because previously how we do deployment is we just do it on the fly, like, just if you want to deploy, let's say, a web application, the configuration, but DevOps is more like the techniques to do it, like the configuration are there, so the developer knows about the deployment configuration and everything is out there, more decorative. So they are different.
As a strategic way, and think of DevOps as a tactical way. It's still DevOps practices. You shouldn't be putting tooling as part of DevOps practices, but since we are trying to differentiate between Agile and this, and like what Chilong is saying, it's strategy and then tactics.
So end of the day, it just depends on your team and your company that you're working with, how they want to take DevOps, how.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because everyone has their own way of doing DevOps.
Yep. So
Uh,
I think there's one comment, right? DevOps is more infra. So is it true? DevOps is more infra.
somewhat related to that. Yeah, you can say it's in a way related
But
because uh, I think we have to explain a bit the background of how people do deploying. It's a old story again, but I think traditionally the way how dev and infra works last time was dev only need to cater about the codes. Then when it comes, they actually when they build it, they just send it to the deployment teams to deploy it. That's how it worked last time. Like they don't
Yeah,
even
throw it
have to
over.
know. Yeah, they don't have to know about like how the host is like or
yep,
what's the
correct.
environment is like. So they don't even need to know about anything about system. So they just throw it to somebody to deploy to manage the network, everything. But nowadays the DevOps is to merge two or more of this together. When one thing is the dev has to be aware of the ops environment, while the same goes like to the counterparts, and also being decorative. One of the thing for me very important is the decorate like container everything is that the decorative deployment settings. So we, we don't have to every time we have to set up. We have to like we put up all this, what do you call it?
CICD.
I forgot the words for it. We don't have to find somebody who's familiar to this. Like somebody with the experiences, but we actually mark them down as something that can be repeated for other people. So that's one of the major thing for me about DevOps. About the knowledge and about the deployment, and also like
Yeah. So
I think
the
I
funny,
basically get lost.
the funny thing there is in 2005 to 2010ish, around the time when I started my career, developers used to be the guys who used to operate the infrastructure also. The difference at that time was that infrastructure was just used to be till the point of deploying your applications. You would still have a network engineer with you. You would still have a database admin with you.
Infra team.
And yeah, basically the infra team, a database admin whose job was to scale the database.
Deployment manager.
Deployment manager is still there. Nothing has changed in that. So at that point of time, developers used to do the operations, because if anything goes wrong in production, they'll come to you because they say it's your app, you built it, so you solve it. But along the way, what happened was development tooling started becoming, let's call it not complicated, but more variety, where people start saying, okay, fine, developers itself should be given as a separate role, right? And that's when even slowly full stack developers as a concept started coming out, something which I still don't get. Because if you talk about JavaScript being full stack, then Java developers were full stack from before. We used to do JSPs, ASP, C#. I mean, they were full stack from before. And that's my rant anyway. The thing with that was, and then eventually it became specialized, and now again it's coming back to that full circle, that it's saying, hey, you know what? We need developers and operations to work together. I've worked with teams where developers manage the infrastructure with automation. Now again, there's a new division coming up, Kubernetes. Having people who are specialized in Kubernetes, because Kubernetes has its own, world of its own kind of a thing. So I don't know. I think it's just like we keep oscillating between these two.
It's just Docker, man.
No, not always. You have container deals.
Who's actually nailed it.
Agile is the
in a way.
Okay, someone have a good explanation. Yeah,
Yep.
You just summarize it for us. It's the approach and collaboration.
You can apply Agile to like even a brick and mortar business.
Yeah, Agile is used in sales organizations a lot also because of the Kanban board to make sure that salespeople do more. So yeah, you have Scrum Master doing collaboration with the product owner, and if you're doing Scrum, yes, you would have a Scrum Master.
Okay, so I have a second question for Sam. Is that since it's with security, right? So how does DevOps comes into a security, like DevSecOps, right? So how does it work for you, like as a DevOps step?
Yeah. So for me, I've just joined a local telco not too long ago. So I also have to figure out this question um, when I'm doing my work. So maybe I'll just share it maybe from context of a larger company or larger MNC. I think that I've shared a link in the Meetups channel in Slack. It's from Accenture, and I like that illustration where they visualize where Agile is more on the business requirements aspect, and whereas the DevOps part it tends to be nearer to the developer and the operations part of the delivery. Um, and maybe just to link back with what Chi Liang mentioned, where Agile is a project management. So right now in my job, I actually do have to talk about Agile and as well as DevOps at the same time. So sorry, I think you are. Devin, what was your question? Your actual question?
So
How
my
does it
question
apply? Is
was,
it?
yeah. So how does DevOps apply in the security world? Like, how does it come and how
Basically,
does it work? Like, yeah. So what does you like for you? Like, how is it? What do you do for the security team as a DevOps kind of when it comes in?
So it depends. Like in the telco I'm working with, we have places which has pipelines. So could be security, the scanning in the pipeline.
So
Okay,
basically, run
so
a
that's
security.
one
There was
aspect.
pipeline for security pipeline, everything for the security team, is it?
Yeah. So you have like a code analyzer, what do you call the static code analyzer
Guardrail.
or the
Yeah.
container scanning. So you put that from the pipeline. Um, so that's where the security thing comes in. Then for myself, also I get involved in some of the sprints in some of the teams. So we give input into their sprint review and planning wherever possible. We check whether if they are, yeah, if like the security aspect is being covered. Talking about stuff like what security user stories. Uh, but I think this is a fairly new thing. I think even in Malaysia, I mean, it's not just in Malaysia. I think even in the region, there are not many people doing this DevSecOps thing. Uh, I think you have more people doing DevOps rather than
Can yeah, yeah.
DevSecOps. Yeah. So,
I mean,
but
you
I
need
think
a
that the
big company.
yeah. So I think also I spent my past 2 years like being a DevOps engineer. So I think like in Malaysia, a lot of people still struggling with the concept of even Agile and DevOps, and even in the market, different people have different ideas about DevOps. But for myself, in the MNC, it's so big. There are parts where I can improve about the DevOps to incorporate DevSecOps, and there are also teams like the team I'm in where I'm now trying to advocate Agile uh, and maybe update their context and filters. So I've given like a intro to Agile session just to share what I know and just to see what everybody's idea about what this Agile thing means. And I've
Yeah. Okay, I just want to say
yeah
about like this
so
comment. It's not really twice the pay. It's just less pay. It's because they still pay you shit anyway. Some companies, but
Actually,
you have to do more work.
plus you get
uh,
responsibility with the pager, so you get pager duty also, which means
to
you
make
get paid.
it to make it
Yeah.
gloomer, DevOps is supposed to obsolete both of the people,
Yeah.
and you
yes.
can rehire another person to take it up because everything is so well defined, supposedly.
No, but
So
now you
the
have three
Like,
people now because you have a developer, you have DevOps, and then you have the actual SRE. So now you have three.
yeah,
So yeah, you just create more jobs. That's how you
now
create jobs.
it's more moving towards like DevOps and SRE. Like if the part is DevOps and SRE is like a bit similar, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Like
So
how does it the people company differentiate? Because in Malaysia, most of the company doesn't even have a proper way to
as
differentiate it.
DevOps is just, I think most of the time it's just to worry about deployment.
Or is it just SRE is higher pay than DevOps?
I think it's a different job scope.
Different job scope.
SRE is supposed. DevOps is just making sure things work, and SRE is to make sure that things works properly all the time
In production.
So I think that's,
So with DevOps, what has happened is, because like there's this one which one of the Google engineers they put, right, class SRE implements DevOps, where they say that SRE is basically an implementation of DevOps of sorts, but it's more concrete. I kind of tend to gravitate more towards that. I
think
meaning.
I can say it can be not necessarily a subclass, but a different. It can be DevOps is the deployment, SRE is the management, the maintenance.
Right. So here's the thing. Now, I come from a background where developers have always done operations, right? Now, if you just remove that part of SRE where they're managing the production side of the systems, everything before that, I would still say a developer should manage, personally, as based on experience, because as a developer, I need to know where my system is running. I would want to build the templates myself for the infrastructure, try to automate that part, build the CI/CD pipeline myself, so that my team or my product team or whoever is part of my team is self-sufficient in that way, so that they don't have anybody else. The moment I would start creating a separate role for just managing all of that is when the team grows beyond a certain point, or the kind of features we're working on, and makes it more critical for us to offload managing the infrastructure to somebody else, right? You would still have someone managing the production system. SRE being paid less, because they're the ones who are having the pager, so usually they'll be paid less, and they get raised up if any issues happen in production also. Developers have it easy, let's put it that way right now, especially if you have a DevOps team. There is a high chance that you're being shielded from a lot of things that are happening in production right now. Although you will definitely have a lot of conversations. Depends. So you'll have a lot of maybe good and not so good conversations with developers, between developers and DevOps, because they would always push things back to you, saying that, okay, this is not working the way it's supposed to and stuff. There's another team that's been doing that for years already. It's called a QA team. Now you just have one more team that does it with you. I mean, what's happened is, at least between 2015 to now, at least now there's some semblance of understanding. Teams used to start hiring for DevOps engineers and building a DevOps team. I used to have these conversations before when we used to come from meetups and all, and they used to say, we're setting up a DevOps team, and we're like, what's their job? They do DevOps. So what are your developers doing? They just write the code and give it to them. So what's the difference? Because then you're just created a team.
Okay. So you asked me to another question actually. So actually, some companies now, although you're a DevOps, right? Actually, your title is still software engineer.
Yeah. So title, that's a different discussion altogether. Title versus your responsibility.
So you're considered as a software engineer, or as a developer, or you're considered as like how? Is it the same thing? Just a different level of developers, like what Michael is saying. Like first, developers are the first line of defense.
Developers, so it depends on the company culture, right? So certain companies, like in my previous company where I worked, developers were the first line of defense. In fact, we were the only ones because we managed our own infrastructure. In other companies, I have seen other companies where people are working. It's like the folks who stay up at night to make sure systems are working as either DevOps or SRE. It's not the developers. What the developers do is they just make sure that code is working. They make sure that features are working. They are answerable to the product manager. Anything happens after that, then it depends. They just come back the next day in the morning. And
I think in a more realistic is that whatever that works, man.
Whatever that works, exactly. Yeah.
And end of the day, whatever way, just get it done and make it work.
Here's the kicker, right? So the thing is, if folks over here already have been tuning into different discussions on DevOps before, if anyone's heard of Conway's law basically from the late 60s kind of says that, you can take the structure of a team and the way they communicate, and then you can measure, you can tell what's the output of the team. So you will notice DevOps teams as a concept coming a lot in enterprises, because for them, any role or responsibilities still becomes another team versus it being handled by somebody specific. That's the way I see it, at least right now. Smaller teams and companies usually try to, bring all those responsibilities together with one person versus another. So, like Chilion said, depends. Standard answer, depends.
It's I think all these practices are just templates. So it's up to how we take and form our own processes. But if we fixated by the processes, like just like how Tevin raised up, like if you have, or fast raised up, just like if you have DevOps, but you still operate like the separation of responsibility, then I mean it's just to do it for the sake of putting up the names.
Yeah, like Ang mentioned, right? Traditionally, it's always been about somebody else's responsibility. Yeah. Which basically means there is something else at the ground level.
So basically, you DevOps people will take the blame. That's what it is, right? Based on the comment.
We have one. You have one on Slido.
Oh, there's one more. Yeah, but we missed the other one, so we'll go back to that PC one later. Monitor team setup.
That's Sam's one. So
that's later. Because I have something to say on that.
Okay, go ahead.
No, later. We'll continue with the same trend down. There are some very interesting questions.
Why does I feel small
companies always complicate their tech stack? Because at least from what I've seen, it depends on who is complicating it. You may have people who want to ensure their resume is up to date with the latest tech. Sometimes it is about someone in the product team trying to get buzzwords so that they can get VC funding. Sometimes it is for because they don't understand what should be used, because everyone's talking Kubernetes, so we should also do Kubernetes. Sometimes that's also the reason. I've seen
you don't need Kubernetes
for everything.
But you will be surprised. A lot of people, when we say we don't want Kubernetes, there are a lot of people coming to our meetups who just hear the word Kubernetes and they don't hear everything, and they go back and say we have to learn Kubernetes. It's important.
They understand how Kubernetes works.
I'm going to still share my biased opinion. Is that we don't actually need to, like, along the line of premature optimization, we don't actually need to learn about those best practices, because a lot of the time it's good to read up to learn about the techniques, but people often get fixated with best practices, like, oh, you shouldn't use Postgres because it's slow, but in what situation? Right. So a lot of time, let's say Netflix or Grab share their tech blog. Of course, the volume is so far different from what we have, so I don't think we actually need to worry about.
So at the end of the day, it actually depends on your use case. Like, how does it actually solve your problem?
Yeah.
And then based on that, you come and okay, how you want to do it? How do you want to solve the problem and extra, right? So
what's the command?
And to just add on to that, why smaller companies always complicate their tech stack. So what I think is smaller companies in Malaysia or wherever it is, when they complicate tech stack, because they usually have a short-term goal. So if you go to other companies, they have a long-term goal. So
it's like, let's have fun while we're at it.
Goal, you tend to miss a lot. So yeah, it's correct. So and then by the end of the day, when the person left and then the other person takes away, he's like, what the hell is going on? And he tried to fix that, add more stuff, and get more complicated. Yep. And then once he left, another people come and join, it get more complicated. And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, this thing is mess. You need to rebuild everything again.
That sounds like COBOL. Like, why COBOL is so hard to maintain? It's not because of language.
And the management thing, the other spectrum in the end.
I just want to add one small thing is about the complicated tech stack, because of you want to use free stuff. So free credits, free stuff, right? So you start to add more stuff and free stuff because it's free, but he complicated the architecture a bit slightly, although you can take a free stuff. So that is a small contribution, I think so, but it depends. Again, it comes to a big boy. Okay.
Wash hands.
In the comment, it's funny. So yeah. All right, continue.
So it's.
I think it's a bit. Statement is a bit general, but.
I'm generalizing it. No.
I think no. I mean, the statement of the smaller companies is always complicated. You're the one. Yeah, but not necessarily because because only that, then you know about that company sometimes. Like, because I'm using this and this for that, but I think it's in a way a mean to get attention.
Branding.
So yeah, there are still a lot of small companies doing boring stuff, but boring but
Right.
important
A
stuff.
boring tech stack works, but the problem is, as a developer, does it get me a better job somewhere? So usually, what you should do is it should be a balance from product management and from developers themselves.
Okay, that's the reason we have a solution architect, right?
For what's the reason a solution architect is there for?
to design the architecture, so
So
instead of letting the freedom to the
fair
developers,
enough.
and they come up with a.
If an SA role can make a better decision and judgment on what tech stack has to be used, then perfect. I mean that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you need the overview of the entire thing. Someone has to take ownership over that, right? So basically, if you just try this and just go with the flow,
I think
that's another reason.
Yeah, I don't think Firebase Auth is complicated. I think complicated as in people like small companies with average like probably service with 1,000 to 10,000 visitors per day that uses Kubernetes and whatever complicated like stacks that I didn't know of. Yeah, so I don't think Firebase Auth is under that category. Is in a way I still use it. It's actually lessen the complications. There's less stuff to use. When it's just like more like about towards the line of that. So if you have a small project, if you just want to host a blog that with like probably 10 maximum visitors per day, you don't need Kubernetes for that.
You don't even need a WordPress for that. Just static website or Medium website.
Because for smaller companies, when they have to focus on a boring tech stack initially is what I would suggest always, so that you can get the job done and get money in,
customers first,
and always experiment on other things.
That's the one that I really respect about Ruby on Rails, because a lot of successful startup, it's actually very good, very quick in prototyping, and a lot of businesses they are successful because a lot of successful startups they started with Ruby on Rails because it gets job done quick, and so they can fit.
For me, it's personally coming from Ruby background, right? I still think Ruby is the best to build a minimum viable product in the startup world. It's very fast, efficient, and at the same time, it actually enforces the best practices. So it doesn't get very complicated. But once you scale, that's where the problem comes.
But that's because Ruby is very opinionated. That's why.
But until you need, I think the need to scale is a good problem to have until you need that. So, another question: any of you tried to create a product or startup before? All the time.
Unless you pay me money, all the time. Actually.
All the time. Startup. I ran 2 failed startups, so wasted 6 years of my life.
I've built products.
But you gain a lot of experience from it, so.
In a way. But if you're talking about creating a product within a job, I've done that before. So if that counts as any experience.
So I don't think this question is elaborative enough. So what do you want us to talk about?
Then until that happens, let's go back to the tablet question. I want to talk a bit on that. Other than PC, laptop, workspaces, right? Monitor, table setup, chair, chair. I would suggest everyone over here, please invest in a good chair, because you'll be sitting in for a long time. So I've had people complain about having neck pain and back pain just because they're sitting on a chair. Don't take it for granted. Invest in a better chair. Yeah, it's big.
Wrist height. Your wrist height is very important.
Just make sure that because you don't want to come out of MCO with a neck pain and a back pain where you pay more for it. So you might as well pay that money for a good chair.
I adjust my posture.
The other thing is on table setup. A lot of folks just run normal tables, which is fine. Like Chilong mentioned about wrist is very what height you keep your wrist is important. Keep a monitor, external monitor is definitely useful. Staring at the laptop screen. So at least ergonomics wise that works. On this table thing, I just wanted to mention about using iPads and tablets as a way of also doing development. So surprisingly, just 2 hours before, I just saw a news where on Cult of Mac, there's a rumor that iPads may actually actually be able to code soon because iPadOS 14 is going to have Xcode support.
But which iPad?
Any iPad that can get iPadOS 14.
Yeah, because iPad Pro costs around.
I know. I mean, so I'm not even talking about the models because I have a cheaper.
We forgot fast is rich guy.
No. I have a cheaper, older iPad which runs with a pencil and stuff. But you don't need a pencil for running in the browser. I have done browser development using Cloud9, which is our browser ID, on an iPad tablet. And it's interesting to actually have that remote working development set up through a tablet. Just to have that thing that you can just go anywhere as long as you have internet, you can work. If you don't have internet, you can't do anything. That's the only problem. Which is what
if there's a VS Code with remote development plugin support on tablet, I'll switch over immediately.
You can run your own code server, and then you can have VS Code in a browser. So that's possible. So code server is a GitHub project. You can run that.
And one question. Yep.
I use vertical monitors for seeing log files. Useful, but it's just good for log files.
I tried to use it vertically, but it's too weird for me.
VNC or remote coding? Remote coding space or VNC? It depends on which VNC client and server you're using.
VNC is too leggish.
Yeah, because it depends on what video compression is being used.
Yeah, because you have to transfer the image.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to work. I don't know about that because it's been a while since I tried to do anything meaningful with VNC.
Yeah.
Just SSH and use Emacs.
Yeah.
You can't just use the Bastion host.
Please use
yeah. No more questions.
No more questions.
Anything you want to add?
Any more questions?
Yeah.
I don't know. Redis is a database.
Yeah, I saw that Redis is a database.
It is a database. Anything that stores data is a database, including a flat file.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is S3 bucket is a database, isn't it?
Yes, if you want to use it that way. We do
images, right?
in a way like we do in production, use something along the line of that.
S3 is a immutable database. I know another immutable database. It's called a blockchain.
Yeah, I know that.
You can put a SQLite on S3, so that counts.
Yes, but you'll always have to load it into the memory, right? If you want to read it.
Yeah. Which doesn't.
He didn't need to get a new laptop. Okay. Yeah, I mean, databases.
Sure.
What else? Is there anyone who's done something recently in automating their infrastructure or their workflows?
Okay, let me check the direction of the question, right? How do you upskill yourself? Like in this MCO time, right? What do you do to upskill your skills?
GCP boleh.
I can't comment on that.
Okay, yeah. So for GCP boleh, I think people can go and check out the GCP. Basically, they allowing people to use their labs and try out, and then we probably get some goodies when finish out. I don't think it's expired yet, or is it expired? Not sure until when.
No. So, I think you can sign up. So there's a website and a link to sign up in. I'm not sure.
Do you have a link to it? Yeah. So whoever interested, go and check out that one and sign up. And you basically have a trying out the GCP's products. And if you you have credits to use Burn for free, and then if you finish a certain amount, you get a free swag like t-shirt, cups and stuff. So go check that out. I'm not sure whether I have the link or not. I know it's in KLJS. I pinned it in the KLJS Facebook. So if you go and check it out, see how
in the meetups.
What are you trying? I mean, let's continue with a question. What are you trying to upscale? What do you do to upscale yourself? So
yeah. What do you do to upscale? What are you doing currently?
I'm working.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah, I've been update lines.
I remove lines and add lines. That's what I do.
Joke aside, I'm trying to pick up security stuff.
Yeah.
Under the encouragement of a friend. So like just check out
How's it going for
HackerOne
you?
and something. Just started.
Like, where's your
Just started like
responsibility?
today.
Is it automating security? Or too soon?
So because I'm a dev, so like according to him, it's actually pretty easy to pick up some of this, and there are some automated tools basically get used to the tools and the terminology. Of course, some of the exploits are not so obvious, but it's something that's something good to learn about when like help out even during development. So I have more like have to be more careful when I write my codes, not just to pick
You
up
don't
a
want to
bunch
be
of
a hacker. Yeah,
not,
I think that's true.
Not really be a hacker. We are hackers. If you write codes, we are hackers. Oh, this one. Yeah. We actually reverse engineering is actually something we do every day, especially when we take over codes that we didn't start it. So it's something that we do every day. It's just it's not just to security, it's to write stuff, but to get into like used to the security terminologies and the tooling, so you actually help us along the line of implementing DevSecOps. When we development or when you do ops, we have something more in mind, something along with that. It's not something new actually per se. It's we know that how to write secure SQL, like but something that is some more obvious like XSS and things, how people do SSS and stuff, that will make us more aware of how things will happen.
Okay, so and then for myself, I signed up for Linux Academy, so I'm trying to go through the stuff. It's freaking expensive, so I better make use of my money that I spend there. And also, I'm checking out analytics and data. So since I'm also time nowadays, I'm working more related to data team. So I need to try to understand stuff what you do, like Airflow and how it works, things works, and some stuff that you can automate. And also I'm trying to go through the Azure DevOps, like what else you can try, like Microsoft Azure, right? So yeah, I'm trying to be cloud agnostic, so not stick to any cloud. So,
you're not being cloud agnostic by you learning Azure DevOps.
I'm just checking out what they have, which is like what you can do with it. So I'm not with AWS, so yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's just.
On
for GCP, you can, if you haven't tried GCP, you can try the GCP boleh. So I already tried GCP, so I'm trying out Azure, something like new. So see how that goes.
I don't think I can try GCP.
And I came from AWS background, so
I can't try GCP boleh. That's the problem. Upskilling is an interesting space because I'm having access to a lot of these.
We lost fast.
Oh.
Yeah, fast.
Fast.
Oh, it's already 8:30.
Yeah.
So you want to do a last question, and then
I have a last question.
To start and all, but I'm
okay.
I think he's coming back.
Yeah, Fast is coming
slowly
back.
coming to life.
Okay.
Slowly coming to life. He's trying to.
I think he froze again.
Oh, this is true. I mean, you always want to try new other things whenever you're doing it. So, but the thing is, the idea is to finish what you started and keep going.
Yeah.
Yes.
You always can try new stuff every single time, but you need to keep going, finish it. Make sure you finish it first, not just touch and go.
Get the small win.
Yes.
So we lost fast.
We lost fast. We just probably ran out of credit.
Just adding on what Tevin Raj was saying. Actually, just to highlight on Linux Academy, there's a free course for DevSecOps. So if you don't pay, you can. I think it's free. If you pay, then you get to download and Chromecast it and all that. If not, if you
You're
sign
talking
in
about the communicate
there's
edition,
one
is it?
DevSecOps. No, if you search
Yep.
DevSecOps, there's one course, and if you don't pay, that course is free and available for you to take the whole thing. They share about the whole GitHub. They share all these GitHub repos with all these different security tools for you to explore. So just to
Oh,
share,
that's
because I
pretty cool.
went to search. Yeah. So it's so yeah, do
Interesting.
search it out on Linux Academy. Yeah, and
I
like
actually
for
find
myself,
the quality is really good.
yeah,
Oh, fast is back.
Strange.
Yeah.
I
it's
thought the
back
internet
finally.
went down.
My final question is actually for Fast.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Because how do you get approval to do from the wife to do meetup after working hour? Like it might seem that you are still working for some people, right? I mean, like doing this meetup thing, online meetup, you still look like you're working. Yeah.
I mean,
How do you
technically,
convince?
I do say that I'm doing a call, and usually
Okay.
if I'm doing something beyond 6-7, then I put time for doing something else later at home.
Okay.
Like I don't know, doing some housework at least. That's one way to appease.
Wash the dishes.
Yeah, I mean, whatever is the jive at that point of time. Not easy though, but yeah, I mean that's what I do. But I'm right now. There's no meetups also, right? This is like one of the few that I do, like evening kind of things. So yeah, it's all right for now, I guess. Until one day my connection suddenly disappears, then I'll know. Okay, I'm not supposed to do calls anymore.
Probably that what happened just now.
I actually thought maybe something happened to the router, but no, it seems to be all right. Yeah.
We should change the service provider.
Again,
is there
right?
any question or anything we want to add?
Yep. Sam?
Nope.
Okay.
Anyone from the comment side?
Yeah.
Comments side.
Yeah. This is the last one we have.
Yeah.
New input, everything.
I think we shared that.
But I think Fast missed that.
Yeah, I missed that
So
one.
we're gonna let him answer that.
Okay. It's a trick question, by the way, Fast.
Spark dies off easily, making you want to try other things. Is it true? Okay, the way I would say I would challenge this kind of a scenario is by saying, what are you trying to achieve through this whole exercise? Are you just trying to learn a new framework, or are you just challenging yourself to learn something new? Or are you working on an outcome which is bigger than that? Depending on how you're looking at it, your spark may be there until the end, or it may just disappear.
What is your expectation?
Yeah, what's your expectation? Like, for example, I've had this thing where I wanted to learn a new language just for the sake of learning the new language. So I'll go through some tutorials and I'll run the language a bit, use the runtime. It'll be nice to just set up everything. But once it's done, I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's my job. So then I move to something else. Does it mean that I'm wrong in doing that? No, I just wanted to get the joy of learning something new. But the moment I'm building let's say a scalable application for a customer somewhere, then I focus more on that outcome versus, then I just use a boring stack. I just make sure things are working fine because I get, call it like I get this one, what do you call that? Satisfaction when the customer uses something. So it depends on what's the outcome, right? And what I tell people is, if you want the spark to always be there, this is more philosophical versus whatever there is, that try to always have an outcome that's bigger than you. I mean, it's as simple as that, right?
Purpose.
Yeah, there's a purpose. There's always a purpose. Yeah.
Depending on the personal philosophy.
Yeah.
A
bit gloom from my side. Don't take my advice too seriously, but I don't expect any spark when I do things.
Keep your expectation low.
It just work. So
you just flow, right? You just flow with the work.
Yeah, flow with the work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, so you should always be learning something new, right? I think that's also good in a way. Just that you need to have the right
never
expectations.
too late. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm hungry, so
I'm hungry. So Sam, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Okay. So thanks everyone for participating in this. Normally we have a sponsor, but I think we don't have
it's
sponsor.
free. We
It's
have,
free.
yeah. You should offer them buy their own food.
We can tell you how to order on Grab, but
buy your own pizza.
Buy your own food.
Yeah, maybe next time we're doing this more regularly, maybe can write to see whether we can get food sponsorship. Yeah. Anyway.
It's only for people that are up there, so they can get free food. If you speak, you get free food.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, thank everyone for your time.
Also,
we're not sure whether next month. Oh, yeah.
Sam, just an add-on. If anyone over here has feedback on this format, if you could just put it in the Slack channel, it will be helpful. So at least we'll know whether to do this format again or not. Yeah, that'll be great. Thanks.
Or just message any of us on Facebook or somewhere.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah. So thanks everyone. Anything to add? Anyone?
No.
Anyone? Yes?
I think
Nope. Just stay safe. Be careful. Hopefully the MCO will be ended, and we can go to our new normal life.
Yeah.
New normal.
But I don't think we're gonna see each other.
Yeah.
Or meet up at least for the rest of the year.
Yeah. It's gonna be online. So it's not gonna be a physical one.
So we'll probably host this online again. I think this month I'm hosting because Shaswan says busy. So maybe next month onwards we get Shaswan to host this back.
Next month also.
So please feedback what works, what doesn't work. Either into Slack, Meetup, Facebook, whichever, or even the YouTube. So thanks everyone. I think you can end the live session here.
Bye.
Bye.